Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
Ian, why have you been holding out on me?
Kyle? What?
You've been holding out on me, dude.
What?
You didn't tell me anything.
What are you talking about?
You didn't tell me anything about anything, man. What is this Sonic Superstars thing?
What?
You didn't tell me.
It's a new Sonic game.
You didn't tell me.
I can't.
I
can't.
You said nothing. You said you kept yourself very tight-lipped, but you knew. You had that knowing smile this whole time. It's a good thing we don't have face cam, because your knowing smile would be all over everything.
I have zero poker face, so yeah, you're right.
I know. How could you do it? You could say there's a new classic Sonic game.
Sorry,
Fang?
You're not on the list.
Fang is back,
man.
Fang is back. What?
Yeah.
How? What? Nobody said anything until they announced it.
I can tell you, and you know what? That's just the tip of the iceberg. So hashtag knowing smile even more.
Next thing we know, the Freedom Fighters will be back somehow magically. I don't even know, man.
Yeah, so
crazy.
See, you get to be surprised like everybody else.
I legit
Isn't that fun?
Yes, but I'm also like, come on, man, loop me in. Tell me these things, man. I'm kidding. You don't have to. Please don't.
I'm sorry, Mr. President. You're on a need-to-know basis.
I think I've made it pretty clear that I'm usually like, just tell me if you want to, but you don't have to. I just think it's funny doing it this way. Anyway, how are you, sir? It has actually been a while since we've recorded anything.
Yep. I have been super busy, but now I'm back. Got to jump right back into the saddle, and the first thing we got to do is catch up on all the super chats from our last BumbleKast Live. Folks are incredibly generous. They threw questions our way, and we promised to get it done. So here we are, getting it done right here, right now.
Yep, finally. Yeah, sorry about the delay, guys. We have had a stuffed month, so it is time now to get caught back up. And starting off with this one, from none other than the Might of Gabura. Is Sonic's world full of dreams?
Yes.
Dreams. In the night, dream delight. I want to see you standing there. In the night, dream delight. You are the one I waited for. There we go. There's the lyrics. It's like, what's the rest of the lyrics of the song? Anyway, whatever. Butter Noodles has a question. Gru and the Minions versus Rayman and the Rabbids. Go.
I mean, both Gru and Rayman would see their respective armies as disposable, but Gru has a degree of, what's the word I'm looking for? What is the word I'm looking for?
Control over his minions?
Yeah, fondness. There we go. A degree of fondness, I think.
Okay.
Whereas Rayman, not so much. So it's really a debate of whether that's a positive or a negative on Gru's account. Mostly, I'm here for Gru to be jealous of Rayman's, strangely floating limbs and trying to build a mech that can replicate that, and then they get into a big punchy fight. That'd be fun.
That would be funny. Yes. With any luck, the Minions and the Rabbids will take each other out, and we'll have neither one.
I mean, I figured the Rabbids try to swallow the Minions whole, choke on them, they all fall over dead. It's like flies under a bug zapper, they're gone forever, and we all live happily ever after in peace and brotherhood.
You wish. We will never be free. Much like we will never be free of Sonic, we will never be free of the Rabbids or the Minions. Oh well. Here's a question from the Duck Dealer. Is the language spoken by the ancients real?
I don't know. I do remember there was a little bit of discussion over if we wanted to use a language or some kind of cipher, but I don't know if anything was settled upon.
So, is it a language, like a real life language? Is that what they're getting at maybe with this? I'm not sure. Okay.
Yeah. Would it be like a Latin base run through a cipher? Is it some kind of ancient dialect? that's used because it's obscure. There were a lot of ideas we kind of tossed around, but I don't know if any one idea was settled on.
I'm going to go with Simlish. Here's one from True Cosmic Digilab 79. What about if Sonic become Nicky again from a power blowout and his family finds what would happen?
I feel like we're missing a couple key nouns in there.
Sonic has a blowout.
Nicky's family... Did Nicky's family not know he could transform in the Koroko manga?
I don't know.
I don't either. But assuming that they didn't, and they discover through circumstances that Sonic is Nicky, I don't know. It could be probably, from what I know of Koroko, which is admittedly not a lot. It was more of a comedy manga, so there's a few ways you could play that for laughs, like everyone wanting favors from Sonic now. It's like, oh, it sure would be nice if Sonic were to show up and help open this pickle jar or run these errands that I'm too lazy to do for myself. Nicky?
Poor Nicky. Can't catch a break. Cannot.
Or, his mom kind of just hovering over him, even as Sonic. It's like, oh, you'll catch your death of cold. Take a sweater. Oh, I'm super worried about you. I know you're really, powerful. Sonic, put your mice to my little boy. And Sonic's like, stop it.
Mom!
Has Sonic conspire with Eggman to make an amnesia ray so his family will forget? Let me understand that you want me to shoot your family with mind bullets. Yes, trust me, please. It's the better for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it. All right, here's the one from James Jerk. If you were asked to help produce on an official Five Nights at Freddy's comic, how would you go about doing it compared to other game comics?
That is tricky. Number one, because research would be uncomfortable, because I don't like pop scare spoopy stuff, and that's what that game is. So I would really not want to play it or, watch video of it. I just wouldn't want to engage in it, which kind of hamstrings the whole research angle, don't it?
I mean, there's a ton of books just on the franchise. You could read those.
I know, but it's a game franchise first,
Right.
And reading about something is not the same as playing it. I mean, even with Mega Man, as many videos as I watched of the gameplay, there is a certain degree of story that you get just through interacting yourself and playing yourself. And I did as best I could there. But also with Five Nights at Freddy's, from what I understand of the series, a lot of it is the tension of you not having control as these things move in towards you. How do you capture that in an incredibly passive role as a reader?
Yeah.
How do you do, unless you don't even try to do that form of interaction and just tell it as a straight horror comic, and with any other horror media, you are the observer watching bad things happen to people, which might be the simplest way to approach it, I guess. But I don't know, maybe I feel like a straight retelling wouldn't necessarily be too engaging because, number one, I feel like the narrative itself is pretty straightforward in terms of just the base narrative. I know there's all the mystery and stuff.
There's a lot of lore. There's a lot of lore from what I understand, and it's a bit messy, I think.
The core story of dude tries not to get eaten.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much mileage you can get out of that. And at the same time, if you were to maybe try to unravel that lore, lay it all out, explore it more cohesively, that kind of explains away the spookiness of it. That loses the horror element.
Yeah.
Once you understand what's going on, it loses that degree of boo. So, you know what? I really don't know off the top of my head how I would approach that. I might just kind of back off from that project and say, I would like the money, but there's somebody else out there who could do it better.
Yeah. I think, I've seen a playthrough of Security Breach, which is the not the first-person shooter quite, but, first-person game. And it's pretty interesting, but the way that it kind of just completely kills the jump scares, like they become so common that they're not scary. It's like, it just kind of desensitizes you to the whole thing. It's like, oh, okay, great, cool, nice.
As much as I hate jump scares in and of themselves, it's the tension as well.
Yeah, and it didn't really seem like there was much of the tension in that game, interestingly. But that's where a ton of the lore was, it seemed like. So,
all right.
I don't know. I know very little about the series overall. I'm amazed that it has become what it has become. I have no idea how, but it's like somebody on the marketing team for that franchise just somehow nailed it out of the park. I'm like, I have no idea how they did that, but nicely done, I suppose. Minecraft sort of happened that way too. It's like it just exploded out of nowhere. But at least with Minecraft, it made sense because kids were being exposed to it through like school and stuff because it was being used in an educational sense. So yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. All right. Well, here's this question from Favius. One more Zelda question. No, there will be many more Zelda questions after this. You both are transported to the events of Ocarina of Time. Ian is now Link and Kyle Navi. How would you both react? What happens? And does Aaliyah win in the end? I don't know why it's Aaliyah's the villain, but yes, she does win, obviously.
I mean, if we are like in the world of it and I have to be Link, if we can reach the first temple, it's going to be miraculous. Me figuring out the frickin' water temple on my own? No.
Hey.
It ain't going to happen.
Hey, listen. To this song going on in the background right now, man. Look at this. This is some freaking great stuff right here, man.
I can't really ask Kyle for direction or assistance either because all I'm limited to is yeah.
I know, that's why I fly toward things that are supposed to be interesting, but I don't know, man. I would probably get distracted by all this weirdness. I don't know, man.
Dwarf's not going to, sit calmly, passively in the castle. If she knows what's going on, she's going to organize forces. She knows the game as well as anybody else. We're going to get cut off at the pass.
She might know the game better than either of us do.
Forget Water Temple. We're not even going to get to the time skip.
No, we're not. No.
She may not even have to do anything because given my sense of direction, we'd enter the Lost Woods and never leave.
Same. Yeah. I wouldn't be able to help. Believe me. I would be lost forever.
We are the reason why there is the third timeline that the hero loses, okay?
That's most likely, yeah, this happens. Like, why did this happen? Why does this happen? Why does this happen specifically? I don't even understand.
Just a quick side note. You've seen Terminal Velocity's Something About series?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Well,
I ruined it.
They've started. They're slowly going through Ocarina of Time, and there's a lot of little subtle audio jokes throughout. And the one that cracks me up super bad is Link gets the Lost Woods, and the sound fronts are the exact same, but instead it's playing Feliz Navidad.
Okay.
And I didn't catch it until like the second watch through, and I'm like, wait, that's not the right song.
Is this a hack? I'm guessing they're playing a hack.
No. This is custom animation.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe they were playing a hack. Okay. That's pretty good.
These are spoof cartoons.
Okay, that makes sense. Silver Gunner moment. Yes. Good old Epona. Let's ride away. All right, we got another one from True Cosmic Digilab 79. Yeah, things get a little weird for the YouTube episodes, but anyway, how would Sonic and the gang handle being warframed with Sonic becoming a Tenno? Is it Tenno? A Tenno? 10 out of 10? I don't know. What is a Tenno?
I don't know. I don't know. Warframe, is that a franchise?
Warframe is a game. Yes. Okay, Tenno.
All right.
They are a faction controlled by players. They have cool suits, and they're like a biomech suit. Yeah, Warframe is interesting. I don't know much about it, but I've always been kind of interested in it, aside from the fact that it's a free MMO. So I'm always like, I'm like, but it looks really cool.
Is it like Mech Warrior, big old mechas, or
no? I think they're more human sized, but it's like there's a lot of. I think it's a lot about speed. I think it's like a shooter with speeds. There's like cyborgs and androids. So I mean,
so it's a speedy shooter MMO.
I think so.
So it's what TF2 turned into? What a bump.
Bum. No, actually, it might be faster than that. Yeah, I'm actually not sure.
Ultimately,
I don't know too well, but it's kind of like I guess it's sort of like Destiny.
Yeah, I haven't played that either.
So it's like it's a story driven, more like a co-op game instead of a PvP game. It's like robot ninjas, and they got guns and swords and cool stuff. That's what it is. I don't know. That's all I know about it. So, yeah, it's interesting. I like the look of it. It looks like a fun game, but I don't know, man.
And I don't know either. So sorry, Digilabs. I can't even begin to speculate.
Sorry, buddy. Maybe next time. Here's a question from Chaos Sonic 1. With the new Tears of the Kingdom out, how long till you expect a Sonic Frontiers version of a sequel? Well,
as in Sonic Frontiers taking after Tears of the Kingdom?
Yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom taking after Sonic Frontiers?
No, the other way.
I don't know, man.
How long did Frontiers take after Tears of the Kingdom came out? 5 years? Or not Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild. Took about 5 years for it to happen. So
I don't know. Now I'm just imagining one of the Titans wandering Hyrule with that draw distance.
That would be frightening.
He has to climb up at like any other cliff face. Get some Shadow of the Colossus action.
I was gonna say, this is just Shadow of the Colossus now.
And really, is that a bad thing?
No, it's not.
But
every game since Shadow of the Colossus has come out has been a ripoff of Shadow of the Colossus. To be fair, look at Breath of the Wild.
I mean, like, in terms of what Tears of the Kingdom brings to the formula, I can't imagine the Sonic series going to something as stop and go as vehicle construction. Like, it barely arguably worked in Banjo-Kazooie because it wasn't nearly as fast-paced.
I was going to say,
Sonic?
Banjo-Kazooie did that. Why not Sonic?
Yeah, but Banjo-Kazooie is more about, more thoughtful exploration and navigation. Sonic is way too fast.
You don't have
even the puzzles are like more fast paced.
He doesn't have to be. Sonic don't have to be fast.
Now, if you don't make it a Sonic game and you make it an Eggman game,
there you go.
Have him cobble together new war machines to go scouring the islands with. I would play that. There might be some mileage on that one.
Why doesn't Eggman have his own game yet? Wait, he did. But it's been a long time. He did. Maybe like Orbot and Cubot are there too. That would be fun. Yeah, well, good luck getting a modern Sonic game where you don't play as just Sonic. Except Frontiers is about ready to let you do that. But whatever, it's fine. Don't worry about that. Here's one from Power Vidsful. So, could Sage, for whatever reason, take control of Metal Sonic, and how affected would she/they be?
I would assume she could, but I don't believe that she's been optimized to handle the kind of speeds and reaction times that Metal Sonic has to achieve. So I don't know if she would be of any actual benefit.
Oh, she could just reprogram herself on the fly. I mean,
yeah, maybe.
She's cool like that.
Hello, Father, overclocked my processor now and can move as fast as Metal Sonic. Do you let me know?
You love me now. Meanwhile, he does not love Metal Sonic at all. He has no love for Metal Sonic in the slightest. His only love of Metal Sonic is just his love of himself for being a genius for creating Metal Sonic. But that's about it. Oh well. Here's one from Normal Person. So, how would a team up between Whisper and BT-7274 from Titanfall 2 go? BT is basically a sentient mech. I think this is another one like the Warframe question, but
yeah, I never got into Titanfall, and I kind of wish I had because it looked neat.
I want to play. I want to play it, but again, more things, and also EA. Yeah,
it comes down to what is BT's personality. Like, sure, sentient, but is he cooperative? Is he friendly? Is he a bit of a loner? I'm using he's because, well,
that's all we have. I guess maybe. Hold on.
They, I guess, would be more appropriate without a better foundation.
He does not. Okay, BT-7247 is not sentient. I guess they are just piloted. They're a piloted mech, or maybe.
Oh, so
I'm not sure. Hold on. Do they have a pilot, or do they have a? Are they themselves?
I thought the whole thing with Titanfall is that the pilot could hop in and out of various mechs, so you could do on foot squishy human things and big clunky shoot a robot things.
Okay. Yeah, I know that. Okay. I guess they are a living being somehow, but they're also able to be piloted? So maybe they're like a mech with an AI, sort of like, I guess, Pacific Rim.
Sure.
Something like that. So, I mean, you give Whisper a giant sentient mech. That sounds like a recipe for destruction and amazingness, and I'm here for it. She deserves it.
I mean, whatever Whisper can't handle on foot, she could presumably hop into BT and handle things more directly. And I think the real question is BT compatible with the variable Wispawn?
Only one way to find out.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if she can plug the variable Wispawn in and that whatever weaponry BT has now has Wisp powers with exponential power growth.
Yep. Apparently he protects the pilot and serves to finish the mission. So it sounds like it's like an AI integrated into a mech.
All right. If they're very mission oriented, they'd be right on the same wavelength as Whisper. So
whatever she can't handle on foot, she will handle underfoot of her giant mech. I'm down. I am super down. And our last question before we take a break is from Stephen A. Thoughts on the new Danger S game? I had to look this up because I didn't even know it was a thing.
Super delighted.
But yes, it looks wonderful.
The addition of the voice lines is always delightful. And the fact that they can always come back to these projects so many years in between, and it feels like putting on an old pair of shoes. It fits like nothing has changed.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a scene with Perducci and he goes, "Looks like he'll have to die." And it's like, I get the reference. I even remember his name. This is great. I can't wait. I don't know if I'll get a chance to play it because it's not due on any consoles, I don't think, but
I'm very delighted by the fact that Strong Mad is back wearing his "Killing You Guy" shirt. I like that they put his name on his character name on his shirt, just in case. You never know. You might need to know, or he might forget. Good old "Killing You Guy," my favorite guy. It looks delightful. It looks very fun. I am into it. I'm very much looking forward to it now that I know it's a thing. So, looks like we're gonna have to jump into this break.
Or did we?
And we're back. This one's from Chaos Sonic 1. What would a Neo Metal Shard be like?
Sick as hell, dude.
I was gonna say. even more wholesomely badass than Shard already is.
I mean, Neo Metal Sonic with a black and gold color scheme right there is already kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And if anything, he would just be even more ham. Like he'd be rocking that weird half kilt thing and just making it work. And
of course.
Oh, it'd be fun. It would be fun to behold.
Yep. Shard was fun. I miss Shard. Well, here's Solaris Stain with a question. Surge was basically an energy vampire with the Dynamo Cage. How would you write her as a real vampire? I know you can't do blood, so get creative.
I don't know. You could always cut away before she went on somebody's neck.
Nom, nom, nom. Nah, it's just green blood. Everyone's got green blood. It's all
vampires are already.
It's all sweat.
Vampires are already scary in the fact that, they are so superhumanly fast and agile and able to get to places they aren't supposed to.
Yeah.
You factor in Sonic-like speeds. The fact that she can give you an electrical zap to paralyze us, you can't move as she moves in for the nibbles. I mean, the spookiness of the vampire is this, unstoppable force in human form. And I know she's not human in animal form. You know what I mean? In the form of the characters.
In person form.
Yeah. So just having someone with all that speed and power who is not just going to beat you down, but to hunt you down. I don't know. It'd be spooky.
It's terrifying.
Used to good effect.
It's terrifying. But I'm wondering though, how would she actually eat? Because no Sonic characters have necks. So I guess maybe they're all safe.
I don't know.
Maybe that's the problem. Surge is just running around trying to find someone with a neck. I'm dying, help me. I need a neck.
Where's a giraffe when you need one? I don't know, you can maybe pull a 90s Spider-Man Morbius.
Yeah.
Have her just absorb through the hands. Say it's like something through a person's personal biofield.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the energy vampire thing again, I guess. But
yeah,
it doesn't need the Dynamo Cage as an excuse. It would just be zappy hands.
Dynamorbius cage.
No boy,
she's gonna morb out. She's got the morbs. Anyway, here's one from Biko. I'm not sure, but there. I'll just say all of those, and maybe that'll be correct. Probably none of them, but who knows? What are the chances of us seeing Super Tails and Super Knuckles again? What about other characters who haven't canonically gone super before?
As things stand, from my understanding, as of this recording, Super Knuckles and Super Tails, really unlikely. Anyone else, not a chance.
Classic? What about in Classic?
Well, I mean, Sonic's the only one who's canonically gone super. I think Knuckles is kind of debatable.
We saw it happen. We saw it happen in Mania.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about Classic.
Yeah.
Yes.
The multiplayer. When you play as Knuckles and Tails and all of them, that doesn't count. That's gameplay.
That's stupid.
Story-wise, it's just Sonic.
That's dumb, and I don't like it.
I can't help you there.
I'm going to get you in trouble with Sega by calling them idiots. Apparently Super Knuckles is mentioned in Frontiers. I'm not sure if that actually is a mention of Super Knuckles or if you just kind of alluded to it as close as you could, but
it is me. That was me walking the line.
Yes.
Because the line read can be taken as just a joke.
Mm-hmm.
As, haha, if there was such a thing as Super Knuckles, I would already have this done. Or he's making a reference to his campaign in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, saying, if I were Super Knuckles, that was a thing that happened. This would already be over. It's a fine line. And until we get another actual Super Knuckles, it's going to stay this kind of Schrodinger's reference.
Ba-ba-bum. Oh, you and your sneaking. I love it. Now do it again. With Amy this time. All right, here's one from TOZ Online. Do you see Xena turning over to the good side if Sonic was not so sarcastic to her in Sonic Lost World? And would she be a valuable ally to the team?
Oh, absolutely not.
No.
She is rotten to the core.
I mean, she is just bad. It's just bad. Like I don't know if there's any good inside of her. Like, there might be like a modicum of tiny speck of goodness within Surge, but in Xena, no. No, she's bad and she knows it and she loves it.
Yeah, no.
Nah.
Now, if she were an ally, sure, she'd be a boon to any group she's with, but no, she's a bitch with a capital B. There's no change in that.
She would only be an ally to anybody if it was necessary to be an ally. Like if there was a bigger
you could have
threat,
had,
but no.
You could have had to call Resurrected and replace Sonic in that scene and been the most wholesome and uplifting individual conceivable. You could have had Maria resurrected with her shining brilliance of never do wrong, and Xeno would still be an awful person.
I mean, we saw what happened when we saw what happened when she interacted with Cream.
Yeah.
No, there's no saving Xena. She doesn't want to be saved. To which I say, good for her, Slay Queen. Literally, murder children. Here's one from Emil C. After Sonic retires, who takes the mantle of hero? We've talked about this before, but
moot point. Sonic's not a hero by trade. He isn't ever going to retire because he doesn't really have a job.
He doesn't age.
He doesn't necessarily have a legacy that has to be picked up or continued. Sonic is just Sonic. If anyone wants to follow in his footsteps, that's up to him. But there isn't a torch to be passed necessarily.
No.
Sonic is not Batman. There is not a Robin to come up and take on the mantle of the cowl. It's in the day that Sonic ceases to be, that is the end, and hopefully he left the world in a better place.
If there is someone who would do what Sonic does in a similar way, it would probably most likely be Tails.
Well, yeah.
But he would do it differently because, he has a totally different type of personality and way of doing things. So, but
I think it's what Sonic's legacy is.
Right.
Like, Tails would continue to adventure and be good. Amy would continue to adventure and uplift others. Knuckles would continue to do his thing. Everyone that he has touched and inspired and helped would continue to do good in their own way. But it's not like here is, Sonic Jr. or Sonic 2099. It's he's done.
Yep. He has retired. He's crushing his 30s. All right, here's a question from Meta Mode. Is Lanolin a Karen? Well, no, she's a sheep.
No, she's a sheep.
Yeah, okay, good. We're on the same wavelength. Yeah, no, she is not a Karen. I don't think. Is she? I don't know. Would she send her food back if it were just slightly wrong?
Yeah. But she wouldn't necessarily speak to the manager about it. She would just keep coming back till it's right.
Okay,
maybe she'd go behind the counter and make it herself after the third time. But at that point, it's the third time, man.
I think Xena is the Karen in the Sonic universe.
Oh, easily.
Yeah. Yes. Also, apologies to all Karens out there who are actually named Karen.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that. Sorry about the thing. And we got another one from Emil C. Do cryptids exist? Are they villains or heroes? I mean, they can be whatever they want.
Would Knuckles count as a cryptid, given that he's technically extinct?
But I mean, Sonic's a cryptid.
Would Chaos count as a cryptid, really? You know?
Who knows, man? They're all cryptids.
But I know what you mean. Like, is there a Spring Hill Jack? Is there a Jackalope? Is there a Sasquatch? Is there a Loch Ness Monster? Are these things out there?
Is there a Chupacabra? Is there a dragon?
So I don't know in terms of like Mobian form cryptids, but I wouldn't want them pigeonholed into one or the other. You know, I wouldn't want Mothman to necessarily be inherently evil. I wouldn't want Sippy the Chupacabra to be villainous by default. You know, who are they as an individual, and whether or not they're a cryptid is just kind of a thing on the side, maybe.
I mean, it would be kind of cool. It would open up a little bit of the more design possibilities. So I'm down. I'm ready. I'm ready for the Yeti's Eddie. And we got a question from Hannah Banana. What or who do you think Sage would want to dress up as for next Halloween? Would Eggman take her trick-or-treating?
She would wear a Coco mask, because it's roughly the shape of her head anyway. And that's what she associates with dressing up. That's what the ancients did. They wore Cocos. So if this is the season where you dress up as something, she will wear a Coco. That's how it works, right? Given her data set.
She will skin the Coco and wear. Wait, no, hold on.
Can't really skin a Coco. Maybe crack it open like a coconut. But anyway.
That's why they're called Cocos.
And of course Eggman's going to support her. She wants to go out and terrorize the neighborhood. I mean, trick or treat, then sure. And, you know, if anyone decides that they're going to do more tricking than treating, well, the Eggmobile has a high suction funnel on it now. Everyone's candy is getting gathered tonight.
Trick or treat. You better not trick.
Pauses at one house, kicks down the door. What is this fun-sized candy? Honestly now, what's fun about having less candy? Give me a real chocolate bar, lady.
This is not fun at all. Where's the rest of your candy?
Hello, little girl. What are you dressed up as? I am the barely living embodiment of a dead soul from an ancient race that was killed by a god tens of thousands of years ago. Trick or treat.
Sage is like, I do not consume candy. But her father does.
That's why she wants to trick or treat. It's so that she can bring a bounty and an offering to her father. Happy Halloween, Father. Here's your tribute. I'm so glad I raised you right.
She comes back a few hours later. He's laying on the ground in a sugar coma, his mouth covered in chocolate. Oh, God. All right. We got one from JJ Slider. Does Solaris's superdimensionality apply to all numeric dimensions, the dimensions we've seen in the series up to 06, or just Sonic's dimension?
I would assume just Sonic's dimension, given that it seemed to have no effect on Blaze's dimension.
Is this in the X, Y, and Z dimensions, or is this other dimensions?
What?
It's a math joke. It's barely.
I don't get along with math. We aren't on speaking terms.
It's barely a math joke because I am also terrible at math. But yeah, you know, X, Y, Z. No, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Someone out there chuckled. Maybe, probably not. If we're lucky. I'm being asked, how was this man a teacher? Which man, me or Ian? Was Ian a teacher?
I studied to be one, but I never went through with it.
Oh, well, maybe that's why. I don't know. I have no idea. Oh, all I do know is we have this question here from Sep Knight. Did you write all those journal entries for Dungeons of Aether? How do you sit down and write long entries for games? What mindset do you need?
I did indeed. And with those in particular, what we wanted to do was expand upon the greater lore within the Aether universe, especially around Jules Vale, without dragging down the rest of the narrative. The balancing act of how much story we told in the main campaign versus what we seeded throughout everywhere else was a constant discussion and constantly revised. And the journals were kind of our compromise to fill in a lot of the blanks, because there was a lot of stuff we wanted to tell. There was a lot of stuff we wanted to establish, but it's like, this game is already kind of slow paced. How are we going to keep everyone's attention? How are we going to make it accessible and easy to understand, especially if, a plot point gets dropped and then you spend the rest of the dungeon crawling and you may not even remember what you were told. So journal entries. And with those, it's also a question of, how much space do we have? How much material can fit within the confines of the user interface? And how long do we want even people to be reading these things? Maybe they want to just put it away and go on with the adventure. Maybe they want to do a deep dive and read everything. So again, lots of discussion, lots of back and forth, lots of revision. And as for what was in them, it was like, what is the most pertinent information that we want to convey? What are the story beats that are not going to be naturally covered in the core gameplay or are just touched upon that we want to expand on with these journals? And from there, it's just writing. It's putting words on a page and conveying the information in the most natural and economic way possible.
Interesting. All right, and our last question is from JJ Slider. Are the ancients putting their dreams into cyberspace similar to Imaginary World, where cyberspace is a repository for tangible 3D dream worlds?
I guess. Imaginary World, I feel like, is more of a passive system that is born from dreams naturally, whereas cyberspace was a dedicated construction by the ancients, meant to be a repository of hard mental data rather than just whatever you conjure up in your subconscious.
Well, I guess that makes some sense, maybe? I don't know. I don't even really remember offhand exactly how Imaginary World was supposed to work.
More complicated than it needed to be. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, well, they were trying to ape Mario Party for some reason, but then they made it way more complicated than they needed to. It's weird. Oh, well. Speaking of things that are way more complicated than they need to be, this show. And it's over.
We are finally caught up with our super chats from the last BumbleKast Live. Thank you, everyone who contributed to the show and helped us out. And thank you again for your patience as we finally got around to it. That's going to wrap us up with this. And now we're going to get caught up on our priority Q&A. So until then, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we will see you next time on the BumbleKast.
Bye! You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org.
How you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
I am a bit fried.
It has actually been a while since we have spoken. We have talked.
It has.
But it's been through text only. This is
indeed.
This is very strange. I'm confused and lost. I don't know. I didn't know what to do with myself, Ian. So I didn't do anything.
Well, that's fine. Don't expect witty repartee. I had 2 games go from we'll get to moving eventually to we need this soon.
We need this yesterday. How soon can you have this done? Can you have it done last week?
Mercifully, 1 isn't due till September,
Okay.
but it's switching mental gears like that is
How
challenging enough.
how big are these game projects?
1 is pretty darn defining for the studio, and the other one is going to be quite the shiny feather in my cap.
Okay.
I may very well stick it in my hat and call it macaroni.
Wow. Amazing. Are any of these games where the main characters are blue?
Not traditionally, no.
Okay. So we have.
I mean, the one guy.
Okay, but the main playable, the main one,
They're not Sonic games, no.
Okay, and they're not Mega Man or anything either.
Who?
Oh, okay. Rock and roll.
Kyle, the best that Capcom's offered us is a mobile game that's been out for years with bad localization that they're going to put out as an offline mode and charge you again for it.
Yes, I know. I know.
That is the state of the meager man.
He is back where he was before Mega Man 11. Like Mega Man 11. Mega Man 11 happened and is done well. It's been really good. It's been well received. And then Capcom just stuffed him back in the vault.
What really confuses me about Dive is the lack of any of the cross-promotional characters.
Yeah.
Like, if it was something like Mega Man and Mario crossover, sure, that would make sense. But they're all in-house licenses. Capcom and Monster Hunter and I forget what else. Is there really that much division within the company? I mean, from what I've learned Sega-wise, like, yeah, probably.
I mean, Sega, yeah, the rights to some of the older stuff are weird. Like, some of the original creators still maintain the rights to stuff. Like, isn't that the case with Skies of Arcadia? Isn't there something weird going on there even?
I don't know. Funny enough, that actually is affecting one of the projects I'm working on, but I can't talk about it. So let's do Q&A.
Oh, fine. And you said one of the protagonists of what you were working on was not blue.
No, there's other characters.
Okay. Green Knuckles.
Other franchises.
Finally. Green Knuckles. He's getting his due. Finally, it's time for Sir Connery. It's his time.
Verily, a true knight of the wind. He shall tolerate no naysayers.
Yeah, also, now, hold on. We'll talk about this in the show because, yeah, this is something we need to talk about in the show.